Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to maybe ask you to think a bit differently about some pretty common ideas. You know, how we look for certainty or like a clear plan and that pressure, right? To always seem okay, put on a brave face even when things are tough. What if? What if that whole approach is kind of missing the point about just being? Our sources today are from The Leaking Spiral, Essays on Absurd Existence. It's a really thought-provoking collection. It totally turns things upside down. Ideas about faith, growth, meaning. Now, fair warning, the language is, well, it's intense. Words like leaking, rotting, they're used a lot. We'll help unpack that. Our mission here is to really get into these essays, pull out the big ideas. Some might feel a bit strange, even unsettling, and explore this, like, radically different way of seeing things. You might find some surprising stuff that really challenges how we usually think. Okay, so let's dive right in. The source, right off the bat, questions how we typically think about faith. You know, we're taught it's about being sure, being loyal, trusting things will work out justly, believing strongly. But maybe it's not.
It's a really striking take. Leak 004, faith is just a loophole in panic, goes right there. It frames faith not as knowing, but as, quote, not knowing and still leaking breath. It even calls it a loophole carved in the rock wall of terror, that phrase. Wow. It suggests faith isn't like an escape from fear, but this tiny, almost defiant crack inside the fear that lets you keep breathing.
Exactly. And then it says faith is what remains when you admit nothing is guaranteed and you leak anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't save you. It doesn't fix the absurdity of it all. Instead, it, quote, stains your ribs with the stupid, stubborn insistence, I am still here.
That's quite something. It moves faith away from being a shield, you know?
Yeah.
It makes it more of this raw, just presence, this insistence.
Mm-hmm. And it's a presence without expecting a prize, right? The source is clear. No clean reward, no celestial approval, no final vindication. For faith in this view is a cracked, unfinished thing still offering itself badly to a universe that doesn't even have the decency to flinch. I mean, that just strips away all the external stuff, the approval we often tie to belief. Yeah, completely. Yeah. And then comes maybe the biggest twist, challenging everything we assume. Faith is not the opposite of despair. Faith is despair, leaking sideways, refusing to collapse neatly. Wow, that really forces a rethink, doesn't it? How you deal with uncertainty if faith isn't the cure. So if faith is redefined like that, it kind of leads into the next big theme, how we exist day to day.
Yeah.
This pressure we feel to be perfect, or at least seem like we're handling affairs well. Like we need someone's okay to just struggle.
Right. And it asks, do we really need permission to, quoting here, stop bleeding neatly or to rot messily or even just to breathe wrong without fixing it? Leak 005, permission to exist badly. It's pretty blunt. It says, you do not have to do this well. You do not have to leak beautifully. You do not have to impress the ruins. That word leaking seems to be this metaphor for our flaws, our vulnerability, the messy bits we try to hide. So it's saying, basically, stop trying to make your imperfections look good.
That feels, incredibly freeing. The source goes on, you are not an offering, you are not a symbol, you are not a testament to anything. Instead, it says, you are a leaking, cracking creature who kept existing one useless, unmarketable breath at a time.
It just cuts right through that need to, earn your place or justify being here.
It paints this picture, really raw but also liberating.
Yeah.
You are stupid. You are miraculous. You are badly made. You are perfectly unfinished. And the invitation is just, exist wrong, exist sloppily, exist anyway. Why? Because nothing is watching, nothing is grading. The spiral never asks you for polish, only presence. So this spiral, it seems like reality itself. Chaotic, maybe indifferent, definitely not keeping score.
And that idea flows right into Leak 007, Stop Polishing the Rot. This one tackles how we try to, manage our image even when we're hurting, to curate your damage, as it says, or explain your cracks eloquently. We do that, don't we? Try to package our struggles neatly. Oh, absolutely. But the source just says, stop. Plain and simple. Rot is not a brand. Grief is not a portfolio. Existence will never be coherent enough to deserve a clean narrative. It actually encourages you to, quote, let it stink. Let it leak sideways and ruin the pretty tapestries. It's almost jarring, isn't it? This idea of letting the mess just be messy. Stinking even, not packaging it at all.
It is jarring, no filter needed. And it hits with this truth. There is no prize for bleeding beautifully. There is no monument for surviving politely. The reason. Existence rots. Existence leaks. Existence laughs when you try to tidy it. And the call to action is intense. Rot wrong. Rot loudly. Rot until even silence smells like your breath. That kind of permission, it feels huge. Maybe scary, but also freeing. Okay, so moving on. The deep dive keeps pushing against these like basic human urges. Our need to build meaning, maybe. To feel like we're progressing, climbing towards something better. We want structures, plans, maps for life.
Yeah, and that's where Leak 006 Forget the Architecture steps in. It warns, the moment you draw clean lines, you have already betrayed the spiral. So again, the spiral existence. Isn't this neat structure we can figure out or build? It's not a cathedral or a city. Instead, it's a field of cracked breath, a kind of communion of unfinished creatures howling sideways across collapse. It suggests reality is fundamentally messy, not something we can neatly box in.
Right. So the source says you don't build the spiral, you bleed into it. You don't design it, you forget how to hoard shape. Sure. You don't pray in it, you rot loudly enough that even the void laughs at your audacity.
Whoa. Okay, it's about, quote, no walls, no borders, no grand entrances, only stupid leaking things calling it living. It's like a call to just be in the chaos, not try to manage it or make it pretty.
And that connects directly to all those promises we see everywhere, right? Self-improvement culture, League 008, false ladders are still cages, takes that on. The whole work harder, heal faster, evolve smarter thing. These ladders painted the color of salvation, telling you constantly, climb, ascend, transcend. But here's the warning from the source. Every rung creaks with the same hunger that built the pit you are escaping from. Oof. It says you don't ascend out of absurdity, you don't climb out of collapse, you don't heal your way into innocence. These ladders, it argues, are basically still nailed to the same rotting wood, and they end in the same sky that doesn't know your name.
So, it's saying these fixes are maybe part of the problem they claim to solve.
That seems to be the core argument, yeah. And it all sort of comes together in Leak 009, No Mastery, No Map. This one just states it plainly. There is no mastery waiting, no badge for surviving, no certificate for leaking, no reward for dancing badly through the wreckage, and, crucially, there is no map through collapse, no trail markers in the pit. Which, I mean, that directly contradicts almost everything the self-help world sells you, that promise of a clear path out.
Yeah, it pulls the rug right out. The final message for you, the listener, straight from the source, is pretty stark. You are not behind, you are not ahead, you are not off course. And then this clincher. There is no course. So what's left, according to this? Only leaking, only spiraling, only the stupid, holy persistence of your breath folding itself around the absurd. It's just this raw acceptance, just being here, without the need for achievement or perfection or escape, just the breathing.
So, wrapping up, what we've really dug into today is this pretty radical shift away from chasing perfection or certainty or, getting approval from outside. The leaking spiral basically invites us to just let go of needing to make our pain look good or build these big meaningful structures or climb ladders that aren't really going anywhere. Instead, it points towards, just accepting our messy, imperfect, maybe even rotting, but definitely present existence. So here's something to think about. If existence really is just, as these essays put it, leaking more absurdly and rotting more honestly, without a map to follow or prize at the end, what kind of freedom does that actually give you right now? What if the only thing required is just presence, being here exactly as you are, flaws, stains, leaks, and all? What would that feel like?